WNBA just had another Green Machine event.
Sophie Cunningham just got blasted mid-game, in the middle of a game, with a dildo.
Game with the fever in the spark, a dildo hit Sophie Cunningham.
Sophie Cunningham said, "Stop throwing toys on the court. You're going to hurt one of us."
Unbelievable scenes in the WNBA.
Sophie Cunningham gets blasted by a dildo in the middle of the game. It is what it is. I don't know what's going on.
During a recent game, Sophie Cunningham was shockingly struck with a sex object thrown from the stands, a disturbing moment that crossed every line of decency. Caitlin Clark's reaction spoke volumes: disbelief, disappointment, and concern. This isn't just fan chaos anymore. It's a serious problem threatening the integrity and safety of the game. There's a difference between passionate support and unacceptable behavior, and this moment made that line crystal clear. Athletes deserve respect, regardless of rivalry or emotion. If you believe in protecting the game and standing with Caitlin Clark, drop 100% in the comments and show your support for respect in sports.
Now tonight, in the game with the fever and the spark, a dildo hit Sophie Cunningham. What do y'all do? Like, yo, these are very important games. Everyone's trying to get into the playoff. Everybody's fighting for positioning. They don't need to be worried about fans sneaking in dildos and throwing them.
It happened in Los Angeles during the Indiana Fever's heated matchup against the Sparks. With playoff positions on the line and emotions running high, the atmosphere was electric. But in an instant, the focus shifted from the game to something disturbing. In the middle of this intense battle, a horrifying and bizarre moment unfolded when an object, later identified as a sex toy, was thrown onto the court. What should have been a showcase of competitive basketball turned into a shocking display of fan misconduct. The game paused, players were visibly shaken, and the incident raised serious concerns about safety and respect in sports.
One Green Machine came her way tonight, man, because, Sophie Cunningham is currently trending right now. In the middle of the game, mind you guys, the game is still being played.
As players lined up for a free throw, an unexpected and disturbing moment unfolded. A bright green object suddenly flew through the air and struck Sophie Cunningham. Shockingly, it wasn't just any item, it was a sex toy. The incident immediately stunned both players and fans, turning what should have been a routine moment in the game into something completely inappropriate and alarming. Cunningham appeared visibly shaken, while officials quickly paused the game to assess the situation. This act not only crossed all lines of decency, but also highlighted growing concerns about fan behavior and player safety in professional sports.
In this game, the object hits the floor. I love Kelsey Plum gets it out of there. That's, my favorite part. But it had gone right at Sophie Cunningham's leg, right prior to that.
Caitlin Clark was seated on the bench when the shocking incident occurred, and her reaction mirrored the emotions felt throughout the arena. The entire Fever sideline was visibly stunned, faces frozen in a mix of shock, disgust, and confusion. What was meant to be a competitive and high-stakes game quickly turned into a moment of disbelief and concern. The sudden appearance of such an inappropriate object not only disrupted the flow of the game, but also raised serious questions about fan conduct and arena security. It was a moment that no one saw coming, and one that clearly left a mark.
Security is looking. We got security looking for the person that threw it. Look at this, yo.
Kelsey Plum took immediate action when the disturbing incident unfolded. She walked over and physically kicked the inappropriate object off the court, trying to restore a sense of normalcy in a moment filled with disbelief. The game came to a brief halt as officials, players, and coaches attempted to process what had just occurred. What was supposed to be a competitive matchup turned into a moment of serious concern as the shocking nature of the event overshadowed the on-court action. The players' professionalism stood out as they regrouped and prepared to continue despite the bizarre and unsettling interruption.
They just threw an object at the Fever players. Why is this not a bigger deal? Someone literally just threw an object towards the Fever player, at the Fever player.
What's even more disturbing is that the object wasn't specifically targeted at Sophie Cunningham. It was thrown toward the entire group of Indiana Fever players. Sophie was just the unfortunate one who got hit. This wasn't a personal attack. It was a reckless and disrespectful act aimed at the whole team. The fact that such an item was even brought into the arena, let alone thrown during a live game, speaks volumes about the lack of security and the disregard for player safety. It's a sobering reminder that fan behavior can cross dangerous lines if not addressed properly.
Ridiculous. Not only is it honestly dangerous for the players because somebody steps on that to sprain their ankle and get hurt, it makes the league look like a joke.
This wasn't just a fan seeking attention. It was a blatant act of aggression that completely crossed the line of acceptable fan behavior. Throwing any object during a professional game is unacceptable, but the nature of this incident made it even more disturbing. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time something like this has happened in the WNBA. Incidents involving thrown objects have occurred before, raising serious concerns about player safety and crowd control. The league must take stronger measures to ensure a safe environment for its athletes. Fans need to be held accountable when their actions put players at risk.
Who intentionally throws an object onto the court will be immediately ejected and face a minimum of 1 year ban in addition to being subject to arrest and prosecution.
This was the first time an object thrown from the crowd actually struck a player, and that changes everything. What may have once been dismissed as a misguided attempt to get attention has now crossed a serious line. Once a player is physically hit, it's no longer just an incident of poor fan behavior. It's a direct safety threat. This isn't about rivalry or heated emotions. It's about protecting athletes in a professional setting. The league can no longer afford to brush these events aside. Immediate and firm action must be taken to ensure player safety moving forward.
For the viewership to be still holding at 1 million views without Caitlin Clark is crazy.
This incident marks a turning point in fan behavior at professional sports events. For the first time, an object thrown from the stands, a highly inappropriate item, actually struck a player during a live WNBA game. Sophie Cunningham became the unintended target of what can no longer be dismissed as a prank or emotional outburst. Once physical contact is made, the entire conversation shifts. It's no longer just about fan etiquette or crowd control. It becomes a serious player safety issue. Athletes deserve to feel safe on the court. They should not have to worry about being physically assaulted while doing their job. This wasn't just disrespectful, it was dangerous and could have caused emotional or physical harm. The WNBA must respond quickly and decisively. Security measures need to be tightened, and the individual responsible must be identified and banned from future events. Fans who cross the line in this way need to understand there are consequences. The league owes it to its players, teams, and fans to draw a clear boundary between passion and recklessness. What happened in that game isn't just an isolated incident. It's a wake-up call. It's time for the WNBA to act before things escalate further.